Hi, welcome back. Welcome to my garden today. So today's chore, we are going to be pruning up the Hydrangea macrophylla, which this is a also known as like a mop head. It's in the same group as like the lace cap hydrangeas, and I've had two of these in containers on our patio for I think about 8 years. It was just a little, gallon pot I picked up at the grocery store, I think, and they were supposed to be blue because blue are my favorite hydrangeas, but they in these pots they end up being pink, which I know if you make the soil more acidic that they tend to turn more blue. So maybe someday I'll work on that more. I do add some Epsom salts to it. I've tried that, but I haven't put a ton in, and so far it hasn't made a difference. So the goal today is that we're going to be pruning this back. Oh, what I should say is that the mop heads, or the macrophylla type of hydrangea, they bloom on old wood, so last year's wood. So you have to be careful how you prune it. You don't want to prune off any of the flower buds, which it's starting to, even though we're in January in a zone 8, we are starting to see little buds. We're kind of in our fall spring is what we call it here. As you can see today, it's beautiful. We're in the Pacific Northwest, and normally it rains a lot. And so we have to take advantage of the sunnier days than we can to get out here and get some work done. So gonna dehead, I guess that's the right word, deadhead the spent blooms, and then also remove some old wood and kind of clean it up a little bit, and then I will top dress it with some fertilizer and some compost. So yeah, we'll get started. Oh, I should say too, my tools that I'm going to use are my trusty Falcos. These are a number 2. These are well loved. If I can get them open, there we go. So, and I also, before you do any pruning, it's a good idea to clean them. And so how I usually clean my Falcos is to take this little, these alcohol pads, and it makes it super easy. So you just kind of clean the blades off my Falco 2s here, my trusty friends. I was using these yesterday, pruning out some blackberries and stuff, so I'll give those a wipe down there too, get all the mud off. Ooh, got a missing there. Anyway, so that's how I get them ready for from pruning. So that way you kill off any fungus or bacteria or anything, viruses that might get into a cut on your healthy plant. We don't want to spread disease. So we can start by just deadheading. And you can see here how there's some buds. Hopefully you can see that. See some buds here, and trim back to those buds. Whereas here, looks like some old wood. There's no signs of life on it right here. So I'm going to actually prune this old wood out. And there's a bud here. Here's some old wood. Because being in a pot, you also want to, keep it kind of sized down. So I trim out some of this old, not so healthy looking stuff. So this one, yeah, that one's looking kind of old too. So trim that down. And that should stimulate some new growth to come up. And you can see with this one here that it's like new growth from last year, and there's lots of new buds coming on it, and this should be a flower bud right there. So don't want to trim that. Same with this one here. So there's some nice healthy new growth on it. So And then you'll look for any damaged or diseased wood. You want to eliminate that. And sometimes, like in this, being in a pot, I like to take out these old canes to thin it up a little bit down in the middle. Discard that. Okay, so I think you get the idea, and I'm just gonna go from here and you can watch. So I wanted to bring you closer in to show you more detail. So like on this branch up here, you can see, if I can get it in focus, this should be a flower bud. And sometimes it's got some old leaves, you got to get these off. So when you're going to deadhead, you want to take it down to the bud, which this one is covered with leaves. So you don't want to take it any further than that. You want to find like the really full big bud, because that should be a flower bud. So then you're going to take it down to right there. And then also other things you want to look for is any crossing. So if they're going to rub on each other like this one, you want to remove that one, and I will take that one out because it's smaller and not looking so good. Also want to check for any damage, from the snowstorms that we had, or ice storms. So there's like bent, this has to be deadheaded anyway, but anything like that, any damage, broken branches and things, you want to get rid of those. So I think it's looking pretty good. You can see some nice new growth down in the middle coming up. Spring coming and all the buds. So now it's time to fertilize and top dress with some compost. Okay, so we're all done. That project didn't take too long, maybe a half hour or so. So we're all fertilized. I did add a little Epsom salt, just for good measure, I guess, and top dressed it with some compost, and it looks pretty good. There's probably a few things I missed that I'll have to come back and tweak, but it's all buttoned up, ready for spring. And so the next video I think I will do, or next project that I need to do, is I've got a panicle hydrangea and over there. So I need to prune on that. So maybe I'll do another video and show you what I do for my panicle hydrangeas, which is a different type of hydrangea that grows on new wood, or blooms on new wood. So if you have any questions, please comment down below. And I want to thank you for watching today and joining me in my happy place. And look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.